Finally back from Sundance 2020, and it's time to discuss one of my favorite films from the festival. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a brand new movie review. Today I'm going to be discussing Promising Young Woman, which stars the likes of Carey Mulligan, Burnham, Laverne Cox, Clancy Brown, Jennifer Coolidge, and of course Molly Shannon. This is one of my most anticipated movies from the festival for many different reasons. As you were walking around Sundance 2020, all you were hearing is about the buzz from Promising Young Woman's premiere, and it turns out I tried to see this film very early on in the festival. I ended up seeing it the very last day I was there, but every single showing of this, people were lined up hours before, so the anticipation was rising on that part. Then when you see the trailer, which I will say this, go into this film not knowing as much as possible. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, don't watch it. This review is going to be pretty vague in that part because I wish I never saw the trailer. The trailer doesn't give away a lot, but it shows a couple key scenes in there that I'm like, wish you didn't show that, because then I was anticipating it within the movie. But in general, Promising Young Woman is truly the real deal and lived up to all the hype that this festival was building up throughout the whole entire week since it had premiered. Of course, if you guys are new here, though, make sure again to hit that like and subscribe. And if you guys enjoy early movie reviews like this on a daily basis, and in general, if you guys just like geeky content, I love discussing it with you guys down below in the comments. So make sure again to comment down below and let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Seeing Young Woman is about a young woman traumatized by a tragic event in her past, seeks out vengeance against men who cross her path. The thing that I can come out straight up saying about Promising Young Woman that really sticks out to me the most is the director Emerald Fennell's direction in here, because this is her first time directorial debut, and coming off like not knowing anything about her past on filmography and what she's worked on, and seeing that she's able to produce this product is quite promising, no pun intended, to see what she does within the future of filmmaking, because many directors can try to change the tonal shifts, try to go very dramatic, try to change it into a horror, try to also make it a little bit of a comedy. But what she does in Promising Young Woman is able to change the tonal shifts very drastically from Act 1 to Act 2 and to even Act 3. Every single act is kind of a different tone and type of movie in its own right. The first part of the movie is more of a crime thriller. The second part of the movie is more of a quirky romantic comedy. And even going into the third thing kind of reverts back to that first act, but also really intensifying and adding more to the thrilling and horrifying events of what's going on. It is quite unique, and a round of applause should be given to her for what she was able to accomplish inside this movie. Her direction, in a sense, is one of the strongest parts about this movie, because this movie could have gone down in very many different avenues. And while I wouldn't say this movie is totally unpredictable, there are many unpredictable elements, and I don't know if some of the elements were predictable for me due to the fact that I saw the trailer and I kind of knew some things going in that I wish I didn't, because you hear people talking around you. But going into this movie, even though I knew some of the elements and I had like my thoughts of how this movie could play out, and even when you're watching the movie you can make your guesses, the unpredictable elements still caught me off guard. And even some of those moments that I thought, okay, I know this is going to happen here, it happens, but in a different way, and it opens up to different interpretations of what could be happening, which all leads to a very satisfying conclusion. Like this, the third act of this movie, especially the last 20 minutes, is some of the most satisfying moments I've felt in a movie this year. And even though this is early in the year, I will say this is probably one of the most satisfying endings I've seen in a film in the last couple of years. Some movies can build up, start strong, start going into that second act, but then the third act kind of drowns it out. This movie doesn't. It feels like it just builds upon and builds upon each and every act until it finally satisfies you by the end. Just something that I just absolutely loved is how satisfying this movie felt for all of its twisted antiques that it has, while also even its most great messages that it folds between itself. Even though I already said this movie is a little bit twisted in its nature, the thing that I also loved is it's very entertaining, and the comedic beats in here very much work. There are many laugh out loud moments due to the character interactions and what's going on, and also many shocking moments that happen throughout. And a lot of these moments got to be accomplished between not just the director, but you got to talk about the cast. Carey Mulligan is one of the most underrated actresses working today. I would say her and Elizabeth Moss are two of the ones that never get any credit when it comes due, but she is phenomenal in here, and I'm hoping this is finally the movie that pushes her to the forefront of everyone's attention, because she is fantastic in here. And I mean truly jaw-dropping in what she's able to accomplish in Promising Young Woman. Mulligan is truly phenomenal in this and will make others feel empowered and also afraid of her character and what is going on inside of it. Like I've already mentioned, this is a perfect movie for our society, and what Mulligan is able to bring to the character of Cassie truly is great to see where this could go into our society today. One of the characters that actually seemed a little bit miscasted in the trailer actually turned out to be a quite surprise in here, and that is Burnham. I love seeing when he shows up in stuff, and seeing him as being one of the main characters in here was quite neat to see. Now, one issue that I do want to mention, though, that I didn't necessarily have an issue with, but I think others might, is understanding and kind of coming to Cassie's light and rooting for her throughout the whole entire movie, because majority of the time you can understand what she's going through, but talking to some people at Sundance, not all of them understood and got her motives, which I kind of felt a little bit weird on. But there's something that happens in those tragic events that you start to understand and kind of unreveal throughout the whole entire movie. And when you finally get to those moments, you're like, okay, I totally get why she's doing all these different things. Earlier in the film, though, you might just think she's crazy. And I mean, for me, I didn't, but I think some people might. And even discussing with some other people, like older, elderly grandmothers at Sundance 2020 in line, they had some of those problems with the movie. And for me, it's not, but I want to address it at the very least. I'll give you guys my final thoughts on Promising Young Woman. Make sure to get in a comment down below. Let me know how excited you guys are for this movie. Are you not? Are you excited? Were you at Sundance and got to see it? Let's discuss it down below in the comments, guys. And of course, if you guys are new here, again, hit that like and subscribe button so you guys never miss out on any early movie reviews. If you guys are interested in seeing movies early, head over to Sandwich on Films as well down below. And of course, just a big thank you to you and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. Promising Young Woman is a twisted road that feels so satisfying. It's hard not to root for Cassie and what she is doing. Emerald Fennell is able to put her stamp into the filmmaking industry and run off with what will make her directorial debut stand out for many. Mulligan is incredible in this and really shows off every ounce of talent she has. Hot damn, though, this movie lived up to the hype, and it ended up being the real deal that everyone was speaking about. It's stylish, it's risky, and it's haunting for the most part, but at the same time having a little bit of ounce of comedic relief that really goes far into this film. Most importantly, this film will be impactful to our society, hopefully, and what Mulligan really brings her all for this brilliant screenplay. Sundance has a lot of films that are must-sees, but Promising Young Woman leads it off to be one of the must-see movies of this year. So make sure to stay away from spoilers, guys. I really can't emphasize that enough. I really think it'll actually improve your experience of this movie if you know less going in. So with all that said, I'm going to give Promising Young Woman an A. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on Promising Young Woman. Did you guys like the movie? Did you not? Let's discuss it down below, guys. Again, I might have had some minor issues here and there with the predictable elements, and other people might have issues as well, but still, I had a great time with this movie, and that third act, whew, really sold me on everything that this movie was about. So thank you guys so much for watching this, and of course, until next time, stay classy.